Okay, so this is my video presentation for my FMP. The product that I made for my FMP was an observational documentary, and was about was somebody telling their story about how they were bullied for playing video games. The aim that I wanted to get across in this video is to get the message across that playing video games, there is nothing wrong with playing video games, and people who play video games shouldn't get bullied for playing video games, I guess. Some of the topics that are going to be covered in this presentation are my whole research, production paperwork, my evaluations, my context, pretty much everything that I did for the for FMP. Okay, so my initial idea got changed. If I can find it, initial ideas. I wrote this, I'd say 2 weeks before the actual FMP started, and it's pretty much just saying that I wanted to create a documentary on PC gamers and stuff, and people were talking about stereotypes, but that got changed. So yeah, and then my other initial ideas are on my research report. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Of my other initial ideas were here, initial idea generation. This is where we had a big A3 sheet of paper, and we had to write down some ideas that we had, some themes, again target audience, what we think our target audience would be, the purpose of the video, the aim. So for example, me, I wanted to inform, educate in my video, and I was going to talk about some feedback that I was going to get. Under it I wrote here what my map was actually about. I think like over time my idea generation or idea got changed. It first started off as a stereotypes, and then it moved on to somebody's story, and there was a reason for that, and that reason was because a day before, a day before one of the interviews I was supposed to get, the client stopped picking up calls and stuff, so that was a major problem that I ran into, and was something that I had to change really late on into the FMP, and make sure that I could produce a solid piece of work, and not let it hold me back. I think other than that, my idea generation is well structured, and it's helped me a lot. Like looking back at my idea generation from the start, it's good to see how I've developed my idea, and how from where I started I've come to where I am now, and the difference between what I had in mind back then compared to what I have in mind now or finished is it's something good. Next I'm going to show my schedule. This is under here, context. My schedule was very successful, I think, for me, and has been very helpful for me throughout the whole FMP. I used it when I was referencing what I should be doing on certain days. So for example, if there was a day where I came and I didn't know what to do, I'd come back to my schedule, look at what I needed to do. But so for example, here, Easter shooting, filming days, I needed to know that I needed to work up to that and know to start filming and stuff like that. And it was also good for my reflective journals and stuff, to make sure that I keep track of progress and make sure that I'm at a good point in the FMP at a certain date and what time. Okay, next I'm going to show you the pitch, which is my pitch presentation. My pitch presentation video is on my Wix website, which is something different, so I'm not going to go into a lot of depth here as I went into depth here. So the title of the documentary is Not All Bad, a gaming documentary. The concept here, as I already spoke about, some hooks and themes. Is the one that that catches me the most is the personal growth, because it's the person who's talking about how he grew up with gaming and how he got through being bullied and things. My target audience is Generation Z, people aged between 14 and 21, both genders. This is some initial audience profiling, initial audience demographic, primary research, what types of primary I'm going to get. So Vox Pops, focus groups, I'm going to use Google Forms, that kind of thing, to collect research. After this is my initial findings, after getting some feedback, I knew that people didn't really know the positives of gaming, and they had to see something, and I wanted to make something to challenge negatives, to kind of balance them out. Here's some similar products. Next we have secondary research, or what kind of secondary research I'm going to collect. So films, websites, and YouTube videos. There's just some. Visual research, here's some examples. Mood boards, modes of address, contributors, equipment, budget, schedule. These are some images that gave me like ideas, and this is my feedback, what kind of feedback I'm going to be collecting. The pitch presentation was something that was changed over time. Of course, the concept that was changed like majorly. I had to completely restart that. Hooks and themes has changed over time, but not as much as the rest. The target audience did change drastically, but other than that, nothing else really changed dramatically. Alright, so next I'm going to move on to my script, which is in my production paperwork. It is my documentary script. This is just me talking about, what questions I'm going to ask, and what's going to be going on at that point in the video. So yeah. One thing that this document developed over time, as I got new ideas and thought of some new shots to take, and new questions. I added questions, took out questions, and was changing it over time. And I think this is one of the ones that was developed the most, as I kept coming up with new ideas and new things to add to the video. Yeah, documentary script. Right, so next I'm going to show you my research. So for my research, I did 54 pages of research overall. My primary research, I think my primary research is one of the main things that has helped me develop my idea in the primary, secondary, and visual and production research. And I think I would like to have got some more primary research looking back, but there's nothing I can really do about that. As you can see, the first couple of pages are the first survey that I got, and then it goes down and moves on to some email responses. So I put out a question on social media and asked people to email me with their response to the question. There's another response here. Here you've already seen my idea generation. So this was my first focus group. It was just talking about the basic questions like opinions on gaming, opinions documentaries, how long they would watch a documentary, that kind of thing, and get into, understand more about documentaries and if young people watch documentaries. Secondary research. I think secondary research went well. I think it was my strongest point, my strongest research out of the four, because I wouldn't say it's the easiest, but I think it was something that I enjoyed the most out of each of them, apart from visual research. I enjoyed it more, and I got along with it, I guess, if you could say that. So similar products is something that went really well for me. And it is something that helped me develop my ideas a lot. because I first started off with this video, and then later on I found out about these 3 videos or 2 videos, and that made me change my style and concept completely. And I think this is one of the main things you can see in my video, is how my idea developed and changed over time. Here are some surveys from secondary research. Online forums, or forums, sorry. Some more. So moving on to visual research. I think visual research it's not weak, but I think it is strong in my opinion, and I think it was one of the more fun researches to do, as I was looking up things that was passionate to me about my idea. So we have mood boards, some of them, I'm sorry if they don't load. Some mood boards, and I wrote about my mood boards here. Some more mood boards. Typography research was fun. I really enjoyed typography research, and I think it was successful, as I found 4 different types. 4 different types of typography that I like and was going to use in my video. Influential directors or artists. In my case it was directors. Production research, roles and responsibilities. My budget. Pictures ain't loading, it's a bit slow. Alright, so this is my evaluation audience feedback. I think my audience feedback was very, very, very helpful for me and successful, because the answers that I got, I worked on it from there, and I developed my idea from something that, looking back, from something that was really weak in the editing compared to what the final when it came out, and it was just a major difference in my opinion. And then scrolling down you have, this is the survey, and scrolling down you have my 1,000 word evaluation of the whole project, and then my bibliography of Harvard referencing of everything in the project. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to go to problem solving. Like I said before, I came across a huge problem where my client bailed on me, but apart from that happening, I didn't really have any problems really, which is why you'll see there is not much written down here. So the first 2 pages are just potential problems, and then I scroll down to the actual problems I had. So for example, it was just small problems like running out of storage on Drive and on my USB, not keeping up with deadlines and work, having to stay behind was one of the main actions that I took. And then here you can see me talking about my client not showing up, and to overcome this I had to come up with a new idea that was similar to my product, similar to my concept before, so that I didn't have to change all my paperwork and pretty much start everything again. So yeah, I think problem solving log was very helpful and successful for me, because it helped me keep track of the problems that I was having, and looking back, being able to see what I did to overcome these certain problems was something that is good to think about. Right, so next I'm going to show you my production and planning. So you've seen the budget already. Everything, by the way, that I'm talking about is in my Drive or on my Wix site. So yeah. So this is my production paperwork. I got my 2 storyboards here. I think production paperwork went well for me. There wasn't really anything that went wrong, apart from the fact that I had to do 2 of everything to make sure that I made up for the change in concept, and then I'm going to show you the budget. My budget was really cheap. I really pretty much had to spend nothing on anything. The only thing I had to spend money on was SD cards and some props. So, you know, the whole production came to £7.50, which is really nothing at all. Yeah. I think the one thing that wasn't successful here would be I'd say my storyboards, because as my video is pretty much like hardly any angles, it's just someone talking about them. It looks kind of plain, like there's nothing there, but compared to my video, it really shows, you know, the difference, all the similarities between them, and why there is nothing really there. Okay, next we're going to move on to reflective journals. So reflective evaluation, FMP reflective journals. So here, the reflective journals is something that I worked hard on, because I knew that going into it and looking into my first lesson compared to my last lesson and seeing the difference in idea, the concept, everything like that was important. So I have, for my reflective journals, I have 46 pages. And I think this is something that is going to be really helpful for me, and I think it is successful in my opinion. Furthermore, it also backs up how I develop my ideas. So rather than me just showing it in the research, I also talk about it, how I develop the ideas in my reflective journals. And also I did mini evaluations of every single section, where I talk about everything, my favourite part, the hardest part, and if I think it was successful or not. You'll see it soon. It is here. This is one of them. So you can see I'm talking about contextual research, and how I thought about it, and how it was helpful for me. One cool thing I like about the reflective journal is it's an overview of everything that happened. So all the problems that I faced, everything that I enjoyed, everything I found hard, everything, or like how I developed my idea and that kind of thing. And you can see me talking about it, and you can see what I was thinking at the time, and what I decided to do and why I make those decisions. So yeah. So finally, we're going to move on to the conclusion, which is, I think the video my video was, in my opinion, successful. I'm going to open my Wix site here. Yeah, I think my video was successful, because the fact that I had to come up with a whole new concept overnight, and think about I had to come up with a whole new concept overnight, and then film it, and like be the actor. So I had to be everything, and I think as a one-man production, I think it came out a lot better than I expected. And also I think my research was, at first my research was something that I was struggling with, but over time it gradually got better, and I found myself getting more into it, and just getting more into it, and it just started to build up, and it was clear to me, and it helped me gather what I wanted to do and what I was going to do, which is something that research does, and I think the fact that it does that shows me that it was successful. My Wix website is contains all the digital stuff, so like all my videos. This video is on there right now. So to find all my FMP stuff, you just click the FMP tab at the top, and it will take you to my FMP. So here I have my final edit, and then rough edit, it's obviously labelled here, final, rough, and stuff, so it's hard to get it wrong. And then I have my pitch video, and then right here is going to be this video that you're watching. But yeah, I really enjoyed this FMP, as I think because we was able to do anything we want. I was kind of made a video on my passions and something that is close to my heart, because I grew up with gaming as well, and you know, editing and researching and doing everything like that about gaming is one of the main reasons why I enjoyed it like so much. And I think looking back at the whole thing, it was successful, and I wouldn't change my idea now. I would like to keep it the same if I would do it again. So yeah, and just before I finish the presentation video, I'm just going to go through my drive, so in case you missed something here. So to find my FMP, just go to the FMP folder here, and then everything's here. So yeah, audio and video. My rough edit's here, but my main video is here. You just have to copy the link, or you know, you can see it on my Wix website. That's fine as well. Research is just under here, and then this one is the template. Reflective evaluation, there's my reflective journals there. Under production paperwork, you have to go under finished, and then you'll find all my finished production paperwork. Problem solving is where you'll find my problem solving log. Initial ideas is obviously my initial ideas. Context is where you'll find pitch, proposals, and FMP schedule. And one thing I forgot to mention is the proposal was something that wasn't difficult, but it was something that I had to, as you can see, I made 3 drafts because of how long because of how many times my idea actually changed. So redoing it 3 times was something quite difficult. And then yeah, here everything down here is pretty much just my feedback, and so you can see from if you want to look at the feedback, you can see how I took the feedback in and changed my whole idea. Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay, thank you.